afternoon, viewers. It's Arif Malik here with the profile. Louis Kahn, who is considered one of the most famous architects of the century. I'm going to open this profile with his statement. He said, even a brick wants to be something. Even a brick wants to be part of a building, part of an architecture which lasts forever, part of something which becomes historic and that outlasts the wear and tear of the life around us. And then those people who are human beings, they definitely have bigger dreams than being a brick. There are two types of people around us. Those people who are creating history and those people who are part of it. Or those people, a third type could be, who are watching it happen. In profile, we usually invite those people who are creating history in their respective domains. In spite of the limitations, they are reaching out, they are expanding their vision, and they are braving the odds and creating what they really believe in. Today, we have the honor to have with us Dr. Amjad Saqib.
Thank you very much, Malik Saab. I'm extremely honored and privileged to be here
talking
to you.
Dr. Amjad Saqib is the founder and executive director of a program which is called Akhwat. It's A-K-H-U-W-A-T. Akhwat is, or Akhwat, it's pronounced in Arabic, in fact. That means brotherhood. This program is one of the unique concept of its own kind and probably the biggest project of its own kind in the world right now. Dr. Amjad Saqib, who has been a career civil servant, quite well entrenched in his respective career, he witnessed a dream, he was touched by something, and after that particular event, that paradigm shift, his career changed, his life changed, and this career and life change further changed millions of lives. And that's what today we're going to talk about. Dr. Saab, we're extremely grateful. You flew from Pakistan and you're here with us today. Now, when it comes to Akhwat, the story dates back to somewhere 14, 15 years back. So love to, in fact, hear from your side that what got the whole thing started.
Let me again thank you for inviting me for this wonderful talk and this session. Akhwat, it's a dream. It is something, a unique concept, an idea. And the basic, the essence of the whole concept is sharing. Developing a bond of love and solidarity with the have-nots, bridging gap between haves and have-nots. So, this is the concept and this is the philosophy which emanates from Holy Prophet's tradition when he established a bond of brotherhood between haves and have-nots in the form of migrants from Makkah and the people living in Medina. So we are trying to carry forward this tradition, and we still think that in this world where 2 billion people are living in abject poverty, the top 2 billion people who are prosperous, who are haves and who have money and resources at their command, if they are willing to extend this partnership and this love and this sharing to these 2 billion downtrodden, so this bond will certainly help alleviate poverty. So this is the larger concept, and the operational methodology we adopted as a result of this concept is microfinance.
Excellent.
When we enter into a partnership or relationship with a poor family, we would like to offer him some material resources so that he or she can earn his or her livelihood and come out of poverty.
Excellent. We in profile, in fact, we delved a bit deeper into what really touched your life and brought you, because a career civil servant who is really happy with the stuff around, lots of people to take care of him, and kind of mover and shaker, particularly in Pakistan. being a civil servant or CSP is something which is really prized. And then from that angle, you are talking about something which totally, that was a 360 kind of turn.
Yeah.
So what really touched you? What inspired you
You know,
to?
Manik Sahab, this is a very, very beautiful story. You know, I was living in my own paradise, in my own ivory tower. But one moment, usually it is only one single moment,
Yes,
which
true.
changes the whole, life and brings a new dimension to your thought. I was sitting in my office and a lady came to me. She said that quite recently she lost her husband, but she didn't lose hope. She said that I want to build my life, the life of my children, and I don't like to resort to charity or doles. And at the same time, she was averse to taking a loan on interest basis because it was, not aligned with his faith. So she then herself suggested a midway. She said that neither charity nor interest-based lending. Can you give me a benevolent loan? Benevolent loan means Qarz Hasan, a loan which is given without any financial, incentive for the giver. And she said that this is the tradition of the Holy Prophet. This is the tradition of every, religion. People like to give these small loans to the poor people and only take back the original, the capital, so that the people can, benefit from the fruits of their own labor.
There's no interest
There is no
involved at
absolutely
all.
no interest.
Right.
So that was very, exciting for me, that a lady coming to me and telling me a new, concept of development. So I was amazed, and we arranged 10,000 rupees, which is around, at that time it was around $90, 90. So she purchased 2 sewing machines with this amount, and then started working hard along with her 4 children. And believe you me, that is a historic struggle, and in next 3-4 months, she not only nurtured her family with the income of those machines, but she also married one of her daughters. And then, according to her promise, she came back to me after 6 months. And now, this time, she was in smiles. When she came to me first, she was in tears. She was a depressed lady, but now she was, confident looking. And she opened her purse, wallet, and then put out 10,000 rupees, put it on my table, and said, "Look, this is your money." But that was not the end. She gave me a message as well. Not only his act was a great message, that if you trust people, they can do wonders.
Definitely.
But another message she gave me that was remarkable. She said that now, don't put this money back in your pocket.
Wow.
Try to find somebody like me again and give this money to him or her, so that if I have been able to transform my life, so this process should continue. She said that there is a vicious cycle, and you should now create a virtuous cycle.
Wow.
Give it to somebody else. So
Amazing.
that is the beginning. That is the beginning.
Excellent. And the whole story starts with $90. And like, this is what you pay for 2 or 3 people having food in, say, London or New York. But in $90, a lady who is in fact a widow was able to transform her life and her family's life. And not only that, but she was also able to inspire a person like yourself. And it also reminds me of Muhammad Yunus' story. Probably, if I'm not wrong, it's her name was Zubaida. Yes, she.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, who in fact Muhammad Yunus is a Nobel laureate, in fact, and he is from Bangladesh. He set up Grameen Bank. We'll definitely make some comparisons, because from different angles, Quwwat is a project which somehow stands taller in terms of outreach and in terms of the benefit to the poor. Now, that particular moment, when you were touched by that inspiring lady, no doubt, but still you were a career civil servant, and there was one particular meeting. So how did it impact you that much that you thought of pursuing this as a lifelong dream, quit your service, and you're able to make that big jump, that big leap that most people couldn't.
You know, at that point of time, I didn't decide to, quit the service. I was doing, fairly well and hoping to move ahead, to the, better prospects in life, in career. But then, everybody likes to serve the poor people. This is an inherent desire in all of us. So I thought that this is an extremely good message, and now I should try to involve a few of my friends, and we should, help 100 or 200 people. And we thought that that would be sufficient enough, to present that before Allah Almighty on the Day of Judgment, that we have changed the life, made an effort to change the life of 100 or 200 people. So this was a very, very small dream at that point. So we, gathered, I requested my friends, and we collected some money, and then we gathered around $1,000, and then we gave it to around 70, 80 more people, and the same stories started coming in. People getting, self-employed, they were earning money, they were earning profit, they started sending their kids to school, they started purchasing medicine for their parents, and having good quality life. And the more we interacted with them, the more the process of internal change started, occurring. And then one day I thought that this is the best thing I can do, and I should do. So at that moment, the program was growing, and it was becoming more demanding.
Right.
And because, this is a difference between a one-time act and a
Definitely.
process
A
and
continuous,
an
yeah.
institution,
True.
because it needs human resource, it needs
Definitely.
some modules, some policies, some systems, things like that.
True.
So after 6 months to a year, it reached at such a point that at that point I had to decide, to go in one of the boats, either to abandon the civil service career or to abandon this great amount of satisfaction which me and my friends were getting. So thanks to God that I was able to take a right direction.
Did your family support that move? Because that was a big move, considering Pakistan and...
No, family, the social and political context in Pakistan is very difficult to, say goodbye to any kind of a job, and when you are talking of civil service, then it is even more difficult.
True.
So my only, confidant was my own wife, and I didn't discuss with my father, because I know that he would have been, really angry with me, that what are you doing this? So, but my wife supported me.
So we have one woman standing behind the successful man.
They say that after behind every success, there is one moment. And
behind every failure, there are many moments from that angle. So we're talking about the early 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
At that time, and then you were speaking to your friends.
Yes, I was.
And I would particularly request you to comment on the circle of charity in Pakistan, because that's really huge. I have the Aga Khan study that was 1990s, which put the figure at 75 billion rupees that time.
Yeah, at that point.
But then I'm sure you have the latest figures. And at the same time, if you could further educate the audience on the poverty cycle in Pakistan, how many people are living below the poverty line, who are who must be watched by the fellow
the first question first, there is tremendous desire and willingness amongst the people in Pakistan to give, to share. They're generous people, they believe in sharing, they believe in caring, and at that point of time in late 90s, it was estimated that Pakistanis give 100 billion rupees as charity every year. And now, after 14 years, I haven't come across any study, but I believe that it has become 200 or even 400 billion per year. Because
400 billion a year.
Yeah, that's charity. That's a great amount, keeping in view the overall economy of the country. And because people believe in sharing and solidarity with the poor. So this is the one strength of our society which has never been shown to the world.
True.
Usually, Pakistan is linked with some negative images, But this is the thing, because we face natural disasters every year or two. There are earthquakes, there are floods, and then there is a perpetual war on our borders and a regular stream of IDPs coming in. So we are good enough to take care of our poor people.
Definitely.
And that is the best thing.
And we're not getting you're right, because most of the poor people are taken care of by their own kind,
kith and kin, by the people, by
their family. And because we understand we're not a welfare state, and there's no mechanism to reach out to those people. So
no, state comes later. The first, this is the best thing, because in a society, first of all, it should be your neighbor who should come to your support.
Exactly.
And we never fail in this. And
this is something which must be celebrated. This is something which is not a story, but it has every reason to be a story.
Absolutely.
Right. From that angle, when now you are someone who is about to quit his job and do it full time, but at the same time, we're looking at a smaller picture. You were in Lahore, and that's where you started the whole thing. Now, the kind of friends who came to your support and the teething problems and issues while you're thinking that big. So would you like to reflect on that one?
Yeah, there were some issues, the resources, first of all. And resources means financial resources, human resources. People were, first of all, not willing to believe that we can develop a system which is without interest. So, because the religion and the faith teaches us to develop a system which is, independent of interest, which is without interest. But unfortunately, the economic and financial system which we are following is so entrenched with the capitalistic, approach that it is difficult to imagine a system where there is no, interest. So this was first of all, and there is some mistrust amongst our society that whenever you are doing something good, people are just wondering that maybe there is some kind of an agenda behind it. There maybe they are going to, contest elections, or there are some other ulterior motives. So these are initial, and but obviously we have a firm faith in this basic philosophy, and the philosophy emanates from our deep-rooted trust and faith in our religion. And this is a universal message as well. Brotherhood is not confined to any one single religion. The people all over the world believe in. Even in the United States, I'm told that there are 600 million US dollars, billion US dollars charity every day. So this spirit of giving is omnipotent. It's prevalent everywhere, and we just needed to ensure the society and assure the society that we are not doing something new, but we are sincere. We are doing it not for ourselves. We are doing it for the betterment of the whole society and the whole world. So these were initial things, but I really enjoy when I look back in retrospection. So I see that these were the issues, these were the problems, and we knew the ultimate destination, but we were not aware of the way how to go. So this was action research. We learned, we committed mistakes, and then
trial and error.
But one thing was very, very important, that we had full faith, and we were determined. And only one lesson which I can share with you is that if you have passion and you are sincere to your cause, then all word conspires. In the words of Paulo Coelho, all forces conspire
to make it happen.
Right.
So, but this journey, because in Profile we definitely call those people who are icons and legends in their own respective field. But this doesn't happen on its own. So would you share some of the black and bleak moments when you really thought that, oh, probably I couldn't do that? And then how did you manage to swim through that? Particularly in your initial days when you were really struck with all those issues, trust issues, resources issues, not enough people to support. So would you share one particular event?
Mr. Palak, frankly, I'm very sincere to you. There was not a single moment when there was any doubt.
Wow.
So, there are challenges, but we saw those challenges as opportunities.
Yeah.
And day in, day out, 24 hours, thinking about a Hoover, thinking about helping the poor, thinking about finding a solution. And for us, it was not it's not a labor, it was a love. And there was absolutely no such issue which, threatened us that we will not be able to do that.
Wow.
There were some difficult moments, but those difficult moments gave us more strength. And when we overcame those moments, we became even more confident that, look, we have done this. And now we were looking to the next constraint.
Excellent. There are 2 or 3 things which Dr. Amjad Saqib is doing, which is almost similar to defying gravity. Like, for example, first of all, he is running world's largest microfinance program sans interest, believing that without interest we could reach out to people and we could actually help. This is something which we discuss from the academic angle as well. This is something which most of the people believe outrightly that is impossible. Secondly, he is working in Pakistan. And most of the Pakistanis, wherever they sit, they're quite good at victimizing themselves and at bludgeoning themselves, finding every reason to hate themselves, narrating corruption, bad governance, and scores of things which whenever you just mention Pakistan, it comes up. So he defies gravity again when he's talking about Pakistan, but then he's talking about those Pakistanis, and they're not only few hundred and thousand, but millions of those who would reach out to their fellow brethren and sisters, and who would spend their top or bottom dollar and rupee to in fact help and support them. Thirdly, which is once again, that I think is the biggest story inside this project, that in Pakistan, where bank defaulters and where most of the corrupt leaders, in fact, are famous, making money and going bankrupt in terms of returning their loans, he is working with those people who are below the poverty line, and the return of loan ratio is simply astounding. That is 99.8%, which is closer to 100%. I would say 100%. Now, all these positive stories, how is it possible? The first thing, whenever I discuss with someone, say, come on, is it a fairy tale? Is it really happening? So how is it going? How did you manage to make it happen?
First thing is that, I'm very humbled just by saying that a program which was started with $100,
yeah.
It has reached $100 million US.
$100 million US and still counting.
We have been able to serve more than 600,000 families. That means around 4 million people.
Wow.
And every 2.5 months, 1 billion rupees is added in disbursement.
Wow.
100,000 more people giving loans, and 100,000 people given an opportunity to move ahead to start a business.
Wow.
So
Excellent.
we, at this point, the program which was started with a volunteer, one single volunteer, it has reached a point where there are 2,000 regular employees. And there are more than 250 cities all over Pakistan.
Wow.
From the heights and the mountains of Karakoram and to the shores of the Arabian Sea, we are serving the people.
Fabulous.
So this is, and but I think this is a manifestation of the innate goodness of our people. Our program is a program of hope.
Wow.
Our program is a program of optimism. And, it has proven 2 basic things, 2 assumptions, which when we started this program, we assumed that there is one section of society which is willing to give. And there is one section of society which is willing to accept and then return it back.
Right. Pay it back.
Pay back. So these were the 2 basic assumptions on which the whole Muakhat paradigm was, built in this program particularly. And after 14 years, I'm so humbled and happy to tell you that we have been able to disperse $100 million US. So that is a clear manifestation and the proof and evidence that people are willing to give. And then 99.87% recovery percentage, that is manifestation of the second truth that people are trustworthy. They are credit-worthy.
Definitely.
They are not believing in doles or charity.
Exactly.
They want to do something. They want to build their future. They have the skill and entrepreneurial ability. They have a firm faith in their destiny. So they are returning this money. So these two things bring me to the point when I can certainly say that there is a tremendous future for Pakistan. The hope, there is optimism, there is a, and we were seeing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There are some issues currently, but these are transitory. And every big nation has to confront these ups and downs. And but these 600,000 families have proven one single point, that given an opportunity, and if we are able to build a system which is transparent, which is accountable, and which is participative in nature, then sky is the limit.
And if people could trust in themselves, and those people they are betting on, then everything, then you can defy gravity. Now, from that standpoint, Amjad Saqib's program, in fact, is based on this one notion that if you feed a hungry person for one time, if you feed him or her a fish, then you have just fed him or her for one meal. But if you teach that person how to fish, then you are going to feed him or her for a lifetime. Now, from the skills development side, we understand that you have reached out to 600,000 people. All of them won't be born entrepreneurs. In fact, there are no born entrepreneurs. They learn through throughout the process. Now, how did you manage to find those people who could actually set up a business, a small business, and actually run that? Because this 99.8%, this is phenomenal percentage, which shows that most of those businesses succeeded. So that's how they paid it back. So what's the mechanism? How do you do it?
Basically, there are two kinds of people in our society. One set of people are those who have the skill, who have the knowledge or expertise to run a business, but they lack the capital. And the second type of people are those who neither have a skill nor have a capital. So at the first stage, our target is those people who have the skill but don't have the capital. We identify those people, then slightly groom them, give them some necessary guidance and training, how to run and organize a business. Skills they have, but some kind of a financial training, some kind of a marketing training. And then we give them this much needed capital, which ranges only from 10,000 to 50,000 rupees. And then we have notified around 150 different enterprises which could be started with this paltry amount. So they start business and they do. Then our next focus is the second type of people who don't have the skill. For them, we have organized very interesting two things. Either we send them to some institutions which impart skills,
right,
or you will be amazed to know that we send them to these 600,000 people. And this is their brotherhood when they adopt these people and transform the skill.
They mentor them.
They mentor them.
Right.
So this is absolutely cost-free mechanism where one person who has taken loan from us and brought a change in his or her life,
right,
and then he is then again willing to share his success because of his mentorship. He would like to transform the life. This is real brotherhood.
True.
This is a chain.
Exactly.
This is this is the virtuous cycle. I was mentioning you in the beginning that if you do something good with somebody, then this is one of our program's important principles, that we inspire people that look, if you have been served, if you have been helped without any personal motive, who is serving you, then this is your also responsibility to return. You will also adopt somebody. You will also do good with somebody. So this is the way. Actually, we are not a loan giving organization. Giving loan is a means to achieve an end.
Right.
The ultimate end is to build a society which believes in giving, which believes in sharing, which believes in providing an opportunity for every person to move ahead in life. So this is how I don't know how to translate it in English, but we say that jo Rab ka hai, wo sab ka hai. So we believe that whatever is between,
Divine,
you know, divine, it should be shared. And because we were not born with all these things as our possession.
Definitely, definitely. Excellent. Well, Dr. Amjad Saqib keeps defying the gravity. And another particular angle I would like to emphasize, and we'll be doing it after the break time, that is, in fact, Dr. Amjad Saqib's program took off inside mosques, madrasas, mosques, churches, gurdwaras, the religious places. And most of the bad news which most of the people associate with Pakistan is that probably everything which is going inside mosques is bad. But here we're talking about those mosques which even welcome Christians, which even welcome Hindus. And those people are in fact mentored, respected, and given this particular loan, which in fact helps them change their lives. This is something I would love to discuss in our after the break time. So stay tuned with us. We'll be back. Welcome back, viewers. This is Arif Malik at Profile at TVapex. Welcome back with our amazing guest, who is having such an amazing story, which is worth telling to the rest of the world, because it is so contagious. We are with Dr. Amjad Saqib, Executive Director, Akhuvat from Pakistan. When we are talking about Akhuvat, which is a microfinance organization, that's the basic concept, is that it lends a loan to those who can't afford. When it comes to securing a loan, I would just quote a very interesting statement, which is that when I borrowed £100 from the bank, I was at the mercy of the bank. And when I borrowed £100 million from the bank was at my mercy. That is how it works in the capitalist world around us. Banks identify those people who have money, and that's why we believe, which is happening around us, which we see around us, the money pulls more money. Resources pull more resources towards themselves. Now, those people who are living below the poverty line, those people who don't have the collateral, those people who don't have securities, and those people who, for the same reasons, they're not better educated, they don't have access to resources, access to capital, who is going to look them after? And then comes the answer, Akhuvat and such kind of organizations. So, Dr. Amjad Saqib, would you kindly share about the concept of microfinance, and particularly microfinance in Pakistan, and how Akhuvat is similar or different to other organizations?
You know, by definition, microfinance means access to financial services, which includes provision of small loans, or a saving facility, or insurance facility, or leasing facility. But most of the organizations are involved in one single aspect, that is the credit, that the microfinance. They have, they are doing it, providing only loans. The other services are relatively, uncommon. And the most important, one significant characteristics of these loans is that they are collateral free. You will not have to produce physical collateral to get these loans. You have a social capital amongst the society where you are living, and you pledge that. And so this is a social collateral, program. And one thing which distinguishes Akhuvat from conventional microfinance is the interest and service charges. All of the conventional microfinance programs, spearheaded by a wonderful program by a visionary like Dr. Muhammad Yunus, they charge interest rates and some service charges, because they believe that the operational and financial sustainability of their program depends that how you are able to collect the operational cost, the cost of capital, the cost of default, or the cost of inflation from your borrower.
Right.
But with all respect at our command, we disagreed with this. We thought that the poor people neither should be given doles, or nor should be given loans on high interest rates, because that will be a mere extension of capitalism. They need, brotherhood. They need care. They need, to be provided an opportunity which doesn't overburden them, financially speaking. So then the Islamic concept of Qarz Hasan, the benevolent loan I mentioned in the beginning, came to our rescue. That we didn't, introduce something new. We just introduced what was already prevalent. Because, Mr. Malik, you might have been giving these Qarz Hasan to your friends, to your family, to your brother, to your sister. So the individual concept of giving loan and taking back the same amount is nothing new. This is prevalent in every society, in every religion. What we did only one thing, that we institutionalized this individual practice of giving interest-free loans. So this is how we are different. We say that microfinance for us is not a business. Microfinance for us is not an industry. This is a responsibility. If you are providing subsidized education, if you are providing subsidized housing, if you are providing subsidized health facilities, then why don't you give one, opportunity in the form of financial inclusion? Because as a result of that, the profit which he will be getting will be sufficient enough to, get education for his children, to get health facilities, to get a better quality of life. So as you mentioned, that instead of giving fish so many times, teach him how to fish, so he will be able to build his own life. Excellent. So this is the major difference. Then we experimented a few more things. We added volunteerism, we added religious places, and very, very important creative dimension which we added was converting our borrowers into donors.
Wow.
That is something which fascinates me every moment, that 70% of our borrowers, first of all, we created a credit pool,
right,
and inspired the well-to-do to put some money in it.
Definitely.
So that we can revolve that money by giving loans. But gradually our borrowers, when they were extremely amazed that there is an institution which is giving us loan without interest. So they started coming back to us and started asking the question that, look, you have changed our lives.
Right.
You have given a new perception. Now tell us, what can we do for you?
Oh, what an amazing question.
Yeah,
what can we do for you?
This is the real humanitarian principle, that people, if you do something good with somebody, he will definitely return you goodness in return. So they started coming back to us and asked the question that, look, you have selflessly served us. Now what do you want us to do? So one day I told one of the persons who came with this similar question that you are earning around 1,000 rupees a day out of the business which you established with the help of a Khowat, interest-free loan. So out of that 1,000, is it possible for you to give 1 rupee or 2 rupee back to our credit pool, so that your contribution is also going to somebody and making a difference in his or her life?
Excellent.
Oh, he was totally amazed, and there was a light in his eyes, and he said, oh, this is the best thing I can do. So the next month when he came with an installment of 1,000 rupees, he gave 68 rupees.
68 rupees, right.
Yeah. So he said, less than nearly $50.
Okay. Well, yes.
And he said that this is my contribution. This is my share. This is my way of pleasing my Allah. That I'm also a giver. I'm also a donor. Exactly. No more I am a taker of money.
True.
No more I am a beneficiary only. No more I am a parasite on the society.
Not the hand which gives,
yes,
not the hand which receives.
Absolutely. I'm the giver.
Why?
So we started telling our borrowers that, look, just by giving 1 rupee, you can become a donor.
A donor, right.
You can please your Allah.
So
you can build the society. One penny.
Right?
And believe you me, now this is 70% of our borrowers. At this point of time, we have 300,000 plus borrowers.
Right.
So 70% of them are also our donors.
Wow.
So this represents a different kind of a Pakistan where people are creditworthy, trustworthy, bank-worthy, hardworking, with ideas, with entrepreneurial ability, with skill, and at the same time, no matter how poor they are, but they are willing to share.
Right.
So extreme example of humane Pakistan, and this is what gives me and my friends and our organization and the millions of other people around us and the hundreds and thousands of our donors, this gives us hope, and that keeps us moving. You were asking that what prompts us
going. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, again. So this is the
that's the fuel.
Yeah,
Right.
that is the fuel.
Excellent. Now, when it comes to comparisons, Dr. Amjad Saqib is usually compared to Dr. Muhammad Yunus' work, who in fact was awarded Nobel Prize in, say, a few years back for his amazing work. How do you compare Grameen Bank and Akhuvat in terms of the microfinance
Yeah,
organizations?
Mr. Malik, let me, in the beginning, with all humility, say that I'm nobody to be compared with Dr. Muhammad Yunus. He's a great man, and I have a great regard and respect for his wonderful and overwhelming, efforts.
Efforts, no doubt.
We are a small program, but we learned something from him.
Certainly, yes.
But
A model.
at the same time, we have not replicated the entire philosophy. Our philosophy is a different thing. We don't believe in extending the frontiers of capitalism. We believe in building the society on the basis of brotherhood and sharing.
Correct.
On one side, if you allow me to say, on one side is the capitalism, and on the one side is the charity.
True.
So we are trying to go in between. Don't give doles, don't give charity. Give them loan, but don't overburden them with the financial cost. Give them an opportunity to fight, to struggle, to come out of poverty. Let's help them to harness their potential. So we are different from Grameen.
Definitely.
In many we have a different kind of agenda, and but obviously some of the operational principles we learned from Grameen, and Grameen has shown the world that a day will come when poverty will be put in museums.
Well, exactly, which is the most inspiring thing, is when you look at 7 billion people and then the haves and have-nots, and the gap is widening, and someone must be trying to bridge that gap, because if we don't do that, then it would further widen.
Absolutely.
And putting poverty in the museum, such an incredible statement, and that's which makes Dr. Amjad Saqib's work extraordinary. Now, when we look at Akhuvat's work, its operational expense and its cost of capital is also enormously low compared to other microfinance organizations. One of the reasons is that you started disseminating these loans by reaching out to those people, those poverty-stricken people, and you started engaging with them in the religious organizations like mosques, madrasas, churches, which is once again a gravity-defying act, because in Pakistan, the moment you mention that, most of the people associate sectarianism, violence, and other things with mosques. So how did you manage to achieve this miracle?
Yeah, Mr. Malik, let me say, I'm a practitioner of development, agenda, and I have learned from all my education that you cannot achieve development unless you involve the local institutions.
True.
You cannot replicate fully the Western development model in a society like ours.
Right.
So we need to involve, if we are talking of inclusive development, if we're talking of participatory development, then we need to involve the basic institutions, all stakeholders. And mosque or a church in our country is an extremely important institution. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people 5 times a day go there.
Yeah.
If we start using these places for social and economic development, who stops us?
True.
In fact, mosque provides you a platform to reach near to God, and reaching near God is not only through namaz; it is also through serving His people.
Definitely.
So we said that we can utilize mosque because mosque is an embodiment of good governance. There is participation, there is equality, there is transparency, there is accountability, and at the same time there is no cost. And there are huge. You will be amazed to know that there are more than 20,000 mosques in Lahore.
Wow, only in one city.
And there are dozens and dozens and scores of churches in Lahore. So these mosques are underutilized, only opened 5 times a day, and this huge brick and mortar, this physical infrastructure remains underutilized. So we started initially using these mosques as a place for social and economic intermediation. We started inviting people there, giving guidance, giving trainings, distributing amount of money, collecting money from them. So we established our office outside the mosque. Some of the activities taking place in the office, and some of the activities taking place in the mosque. So this resulted in tremendous. We never expected the outcome of this, because it brought different stakeholders at one point. It managed the conflicts. It reduced the cost. It improved participation. It improved transparency. Another thing which was unintended initially, that was that it resulted in interfaith harmony. People belonging to different sects, people even belonging to different religions, they started coming to the mosque. For example, Muslims started going to the church, and Christians started coming to the mosque.
Probably for the first time.
So this was actually, we derive inspiration from our faith. There's no doubt about it. But the ultimate objective is to serve the whole humanity.
True.
There is absolutely no discrimination on the basis of color, caste, creed, religion. When you are serving, just like a river, it doesn't say that only Muslims can take water from it. So this is a program which is for the whole Pakistan, and we follow the tradition of Holy Prophet, and he was Rahmatul lil Alameen, a blessing for the whole humanity,
humankind.
So this institution of mosque is exactly according to the development principles of participation, inclusion, and using the places, the institutions which are extremely important culturally, with reference to faith and with reference to religious practices. So we are talking of inclusive development. Generally, we think that Maulvi is something we should remain away, or we should keep him outside our domain. He is, he doesn't understand us. But the point is, we are trying to engage him.
True.
We are bringing people who have received modern education, and people who have received traditional religious education. Unless they are not coming to one single platform, how will they be able to understand each other?
Exactly.
So these are some, originally we never designed the program as such, but gradually, it's a pragmatic, sociological and organic approach.
True.
You learn by doing.
Exactly.
We learned that by sitting in a mosque or by sitting in a church, we are not only, poverty has many faces.
True.
Poverty is political, poverty is economic, poverty is social, and poverty is spiritual and moral as well.
True.
So these institutions help us to overcome the spiritual, poverty and the moral poverty, and this is a way how we can, achieve a nearness to God. So, but at the same time, there are many our friends who don't believe in bringing faith in development, and they are more secular. But for them, this is also this appeals them, because we don't talk only for one religion or for one race.
True.
So we say that whosoever comes with this intention to serve the poor people, no matter his intention, get inspiration from faith or from any secular approach, this is his or her own viewpoint, but we are here to serve the people of God.
Excellent.
Without any distinction.
When it comes to people of God, then no particular discrimination, no color, creed, religion would discriminate that. That's amazing. Now, when we're looking at the future of Kuwait, and as it's expanding, as you mentioned, that every every single minute, one person's life is changing. Every particular quarter, 1 billion is being added to this. And the clock is ticking, and it's still evolving. So we are looking forward to something really amazing in happening. Now, what is the future? Because I also came to know about your another project, which is equally inspirational. We're talking about Harvard University. You were not in education, in fact, and there are lots of people, hundreds and thousands of friends, in fact, who want you to get into this particular profession and once again change and inspire lives. And it also relates to your succession planning, because that's how you look at the entire project. So would you expand on this particular?
In microfinance front, we have been able to, alhamdulillah, we have been able to prove our point. Because when we started, people said that no, it's impossible. You are swimming against the tide. Interest free? Oh no. Sitting in mosque? Oh no. Volunteerism? Unheard of. Converting poor borrowers into donors? This will never happen. But God has been very kind, and we have been able to prove this point. We have created systems, manuals, procedures. Anybody who would like to, replicate can take benefit from us.
Excellent.
And in fact, there are more than 15 organizations who have replicated our model, and we are going outside Pakistan as well.
Wow.
So now, what is next?
True.
So if you allow me to, say a verse in Urdu,
Please.
maybe you are able to translate that subsequently.
Yes.
That hai kahan tamanna ka dusra kadam yarab, हमने दश्ते इम्कान को एक नक्शे पा पाया.
Wow.
So what is the next?
Yeah.
So we thought that there are two things. We can confront poverty either by giving these small loans, but this is a short-term solution. The ultimate solution of poverty is education.
True.
Educate a family, educate a person, educate a young person. So our next project is, education, and we have two dimensions here as well. We pick students who are in public universities and sponsor their education. At this moment, we are 1,000 students studying engineering, medicine, financial subjects, disciplines, and other things, and they are getting educated. And these are our successors, because once they will qualify, they will come into the actual field. They will be having this spirit that somebody helped us, Harvard helped us. Now this is Harvard is our own organization, and we will build a Harvard. So these are our successes for the future. But at the same time, we are also planning. Almost we have planned to start a university, and we have, alhamdulillah, been able to acquire land for that. And now we are in the process of getting donations for building it and creating an endowment fund. So this will be a unique university, another different concept, another out-of-box solution, because we say that if loans can be given without interest, then education can also be given without fee.
Ah, interesting.
Because these days, the teacher says, put fee first, then I will teach you.
Right.
A university says, give 1 million rupees, I will teach you.
True.
But we will say that no, get education first, and then if this education transforms you and you acquire a better life, then you can pay back. So this is how we are. We plan to start this institution in year 2, and for that we have coined a very interesting slogan that buy a brick, build a university.
Wow.
As you mentioned in the beginning, that every brick wants to be part of something.
Something really big.
So this brick, we will just have, $10
All right.
is the price of the brick.
Okay.
If you buy this brick, and we are planning to sell 300,000 bricks only.
Okay.
And if the people of Lahore, the city I live, are generous enough, these 300,000 bricks can be sold in only that city. So that will be sufficient amount to build the first phase.
All right.
And if the first phase is built, the first step is a difficult one.
Yeah.
So land we have purchased.
Right.
Building we plan to, we'd like to start a movement, and I read one of your article, and you mentioned that there are 1.3 million Pakistanis in UK.
The largest settled community.
So if only 10% of them, if only 10,000 of those wonderful people who have made their lives and who are brilliant and who are visionary and who want to return to their homeland.
Yeah,
so if they purchase one brick, so I think this dream can be achieved
definitely.
very quickly.
And then we're talking about 8 million overseas Pakistanis.
Absolutely.
Probably
the same people who are in the United States or in the Middle East or in Europe, wherever they are, their hearts, heartbeat increases when they talk about Pakistan.
They do,
and sometimes they are very dismal, sometimes we are hopeless. But we are telling the story, which will revive their spirit and which will give them hope and which will, help them to come out of that, depressive state of mind. Because people in Pakistan is, actually there are two types of Pakistans. And I'm talking of Pakistan, which is brilliant, which is bright, which is brave, which is positive, and which will do wonders, inshallah, and which will contribute for the world peace, and which will be playing its role to make this world a happy place to live in. So that's Pakistan, which is tolerant, which is doesn't believe in any kind of this
violence
or discrimination and this terrorism, so-called labels which we have been given. And if there are 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people believing in terrorism, so how can you blame 200 million people for that?
True.
So we need to correct the perception. And Huwat and many other good organizations. Pakistan is full of good success stories and good civil society organizations. They are doing even better than us. We're just one organization. There are plenty of organizations who believe in serving the people, who believe in serving the humanity, and they are writing a new chapter in the history of Pakistan.
Definitely. Dr. Amjad Saqib's story, as they say, that the proof of the pudding is eating it. So he's done it. Dr. Amjad Saqib's story is the story of possibilities. For that reason, I requested him to write the preface of my upcoming book, I Am Possible. Because those people who believe that there is possibility inside something which is impossible, when they defy the gravity and the paradigms and the limitations around themselves, Dr. Amjad Saqib is one of them. And there are so many. But these are the people, in fact, who, when they touch our lives, we change. Dr. Amjad Saqib is my candidate for the Nobel Prize whenever it happens. But yes, he might not need it. But in fact, all of us who believe in the innate goodness of human being, who believe that we are one family of God, and we don't have reasons to hate each other, that will be our day to celebrate. For that matter, this story of possibilities would keep on going. But here I'm going to speak to those British Pakistanis and overseas Pakistanis. Whenever next time you are going to a restaurant with your family and your friends, you should not forget that probably 90 pounds, 100 pounds, which you're going to pay for a one-time meal could change the life of a family. Life of a family of 4, 6, even 10 in Pakistan. And that particular loan which you donate to a Huwat, that would revolve at least 5, 6, and 10 times. So it's not something which you give away once and it's dead. It's something which would change one family and the second one and the third one, and the circle of virtue, or the virtue circle, would keep going on. And that is what I would love you to leave with, this particular thought, that yes, people like Dr. Amjad Saqib and people like yourself, we can change this world. Even a brick wants to be something, and we are human beings. Many thanks for your support. Thank you very much, Dr. Saqib.
Thank you very much.